welcome. It is May 1st, and can you believe it? It's already May. But anyways, I wanted to come on, film my April recap, book recap. All right, let's get started, shall we? All right, so first books that I finished reading in April, which basically took me almost halfway through April because, you know, lots of personal stuff happening, but also they're pretty long books. But it's the last 3 books of the Mortal Instruments series. So we have book 4, City of Angels, I believe. Yeah, City of Fallen Angels. Okay. Book 5, City of Lost Souls. Book 6, City of Heavenly Fire. Now, I love the Mortal Instruments series, and as you can see, like in my back, if you're probably zooming in, these are all like TBR books I have in the back. But I do have the other series that I'm going to read. But I wanted to take a little break from the Mortal Instruments series for now. But anyways, now, book 4, I gave 4 stars. Book 5, I gave 4 stars, and book 6, I gave 4 stars. And the reason why I docked off stars for each one is because Claire is not my favorite character. I love Isabel, Simon, Alex, and Magnus, especially Magnus and Alex. I love their characters very, very much. They're interesting. But Clary and Jace, I just find, I don't know, I just don't like them. I find Clary just such a, like, she's not a strong character, and I want like a strong woman character, but then can show vulnerability, and I think that's why I love Isabel. But Clary is a no for me. Like, I kind of wish, I don't know, I've never read the prequels, and I don't really pay attention to any of the spoilers and, you know, about the other books. But I wish Cassandra Clare would write about the love story between Jocelyn and you know, and how that came about, how it all started, because I would really be interested in listening about that. But yeah, so those are the books that I read. So I finished off that series. Then I'm checking my notes here. Then I read, which should be up already, and I'll link it up here for you guys. It's The Town of Knockemout. I did a reading vlog on these 2. The 4th one is coming out, or 3rd one is coming out in September, which I am excited about. I'm not going to go into both of these, but I gave both of these 5 stars each. They are it's a great, like, if you've never read romance, and, you know, you always think, because I used to think romance books were like those cheesy, you know, those with the cheesy covers. But this romance, if you want an intro to romance, I think this is a good place to start. So Lucy Score, the Knockemout series, wonderful. Like, 5 out of 5 stars. So I'm excited to read the 3rd one. And also, I don't annotate, but I did for the first time with the 2nd book on here. So great. Great books. Okay. Then went from romance to another type of romance, but think of it, this book to me is basically like, if you've ever read the Outlander series, so it involves like time travel or just any type of dimensional travel. And then you have meets, if you've ever seen Peaky Blinders, which I love Peaky Blinders. So like, think of like the 20s and the mob and, like, you know, like that era, but think of it with magic. in fantasy, and that's where you get vicious bonds from. And this is the first book. There's a second book, which I am excited to get. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but this involves Willow and Kaz. So basically they're kind of like in different dimensions, but then they have like this thing called, they're tethered or they're like fated to be together. There's like a connection where Willow can hear Kaz and Kaz can hear Willow's thoughts. And then one day Willow falls through a dimensional portal and she lands into Kaz's world, which is again like mix of 20s mobster. He like a gangster, and there's magic involved, and then there's this thing called a cold tether, which is the strongest of all type of tethers, and that's who Willow and Kaz are. I'm not going to go too much into it, but the family dynamics is great. The ending leaves you in suspense, like it leaves you in a cliffhanger, and also it's such a fast read and it's such a good quality book. Like I loved the fact like the paper was thick and it's just wonderful. So I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So if you love like an Outlander slash like Peaky Blinders with magic, this is a great book. Like I highly recommend this. Highly recommend it. All right, then we go to a disappointing book. I wanted to read a thriller and I saw this everywhere, and I'm not one to really like, I don't know, I like thriller books, like suspense books, but sometimes like it just gets kind of dumb, and to me this one was dumb. I gave it like 1 star. And some of you guys might come for me, but it was The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Disappointing book. It's kind of like, I don't know, you have this girl who went to jail, so she's out on parole, and so she lives in her car because she can't really hold a job very well, plus you have a felony background, and then it's hard to find a job, which that's how society is, unfortunately. And then she gets a job with this rich couple to be their housemaid slash kind of a nanny to their daughter. And like you think the wife is psycho and then the husband's nice, but then it turns out the husband's the one that's psycho and the wife was just pretending to be psycho to try to find it was just all up. It was just not interesting to me. It was a very fast read. I read it in a day, and I just found it to be very, nothing surprising for a thriller. I didn't find it interesting. I didn't find the way that it turned out, like in the end, how the character was, like the twists and turns. I was just like trudging through it, trying to finish it, because I was like, you know what? I have to finish this. I wanted to finish at least 8 books for the month of April. And so I did. And I think there's a sequel, which I don't know why. I think the sequel would just be like the first one. So no, this is a no for me. I just gave it a 1 star because of basically the message is to, like, to me anyway, get out of Dodge if there is craziness up in your house. Like, do not stay in a marriage where it's like there's like psycho, but yeah, no for me. Last book that I read for the month. I love Greek mythology, as you know, and this has to do with Hades and Persephone's love story, but a modern take. So this is the retelling of their love story by Scarlett St. Clair, and this is the first book in the Hades and Persephone series, and this is called A Touch of Darkness. I loved this book. I did ding it 1 star though. I gave it 4 stars, but that's only because of, there was like a little bit of slow parts to it, and it kind of Like, I found Persephone kind of whiny, but I understand her whininess because Persephone kind of reminds me of me. I was, you know, like, if you live in an Asian household, you know that it's really hard to go against your parents no matter how old you are. You still, like, want to please your parents, and you try so hard to please them and make them happy. And it takes a lot to get out of that rut. You know what I mean? And so I think that's probably why I talked to Star, because it kind of reminds me of me, and it, you know, gives me back some emotional PTSD, I guess. But anyways, so this is taken in modern times. So think of like Greek mythology where people and humans, the gods, all interact. Think of it, there's casinos, there's temples, there's colleges, universities where people intermix with the gods. The gods just, you know, show up like there's like this event, kind of like a ball. It reminds me of like the Met Gala or a red carpet event where the gods show up and they pose on the red carpet. And then there's like a tabloid about the gods, gossip and all that stuff. So it's really great. We have Persephone, who apparently all the gods have like these horns in their head, and Persephone convinced her mom to let her go to college and live with or amongst the mortals, because during this time Persephone, she realized she doesn't have any power. And I think that's another reason why her mom kept her in the dark and, like, you know, is really protective. And you actually find out why her mother is very protective in the story. And then she one day happens to go into this nightclub, which is owned by Hades. And, you know, she's heard all the rumors about Hades, how he takes advantage of people, puts them under contracts with him only for them to lose, and he gets their soul. But then, you know, she finds out the truth and they fall in love. They find out also that they're fated to be in love. And yeah, it's great. I can't wait to read the rest. I love Greek mythology books, or retelling of any kind. So if you love Greek mythology too, this is a good one. And I can't wait to continue it. Yeah, so that's the Hades and Persephone story. It's a great love story. There's a tiny, tiny bit of smut, but I think the smut is very tasteful in this one. And, but yeah, so 4 out of 5 stars. But that's it. That's all I read for April. So I read 8 books total. I finished a whole series. I read a couple books. I did have one bad book, which is not bad. But get ready for May, because I started already reading for May, and I'm starting 6 of Crows. I was going to start I did DNF my very first book ever that I've ever DNF. I did leave a bookmark in it in case I do want to revisit it and finish it, because I did stupidly buy it. I'll go more into it when we talk about my May recaps at that time. But for now, that is it. I hope you enjoyed my April recaps, and please let me know down below what you are reading for the month of May. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Mwah.